I think you understood some of it and you didn't understand some of it because this code is not so obvious. Of course, this is one of the typical codes that you will see in any of the code bases that are out there. So what are the problems? Let's first see what are the code smells here. First of all, it is using too much magic numbers. So what are magic numbers? These are just string literals that doesn't make sense. They are used again and again. I don't know what this 2.99 does or what this 4.99 is, why it is there. And second is you are duplicating the code. Maybe it is not duplicate. You can see that the figures are changed here and here, but rest of the code is exactly the same. Why can't you, just write a method and pass these from outside? Third is primitive obsession. See, you can see how much times a big decimal is repeated in this code. Just in this small code, it is repeated almost 8 times. So we definitely need to get rid of that. And you can see mixed concerns because this is a checked exception. This was supposed to be caught somewhere else, but they didn't catch it and they threw it out here, maybe get caught, and then you are throwing it out of here. So this thing should not be here ideally. Fuzzy terminology, of course, if you are using I here and there, of course you might get away with it most of the time, but it's not acceptable. Let's see what are implicit concerns. So according to domain-driven design, you should try to make everything in your code explicit. What is implicit? By implicit, you just mean that you are assuming person reading the code can make out what this part of code is doing, or maybe what is 4.99 or what this line of code is doing. In fact, if you try to read your own code even after some time, you won't be able to understand it. Don't depend on a person to infer it out of the context. So first thing is, what does this line do? This says get total less than 100. Okay, that means we are giving free shipping if total is greater than 100. Now, what is this total? Is it the total number of items? Is it total number of the cart amount or what? Second is, what is this fixed shipment cost? Why is 4.99 there? And what if you need to change it tomorrow? Will changing it here do the purpose, or you have to change it here as well or somewhere else as well? Okay, what is the currency here? When you add something to another, of course that depends on currency because different currencies have different formatting and different rounding off strategies. Is this weight in gram? I mean, why am I dividing it by 1000? And do we have variable cost for each kg or what? And what is this option? I mean, form.get option. Is that a shipping option? And what does to mean in that case? And why do we have variable cost per category? And that too, I'm assuming that cat means category. So of course, this is a very convoluted code. Most of the people will get away with it. But if a new person comes in, it will be very hard for him. Always write your code, keeping in mind that the person who will be maintaining your code after you are gone is a violent sociopath and he knows your address, right? And that will help you to write a domain-driven code. Right, so let's see how should we write this as a domain-driven code. So first of all, our interface of the method should look like this. I mean, what does process means? It can do so many things. And what is shipping form? This doesn't give you any idea. And what is the return type? So this is also called intention revealing interface. Of course, from the interface, you can make out everything. This calculates shipping costs, right? And it takes a cart in and the type of shipping option that the person has selected. And if you want to know what sort of options do you have, you can directly go in this class and see. And the return type should be money. As long as you can return things, you should not ever change the object that you are passed in. Let's see the next line of code. If the total price of the cart is less than threshold for free shipping. This is almost English, right? In that case, get base shipment cost. So maybe that this 4.99 will come from there based on some condition. And then iterate over each of the items in the cart. And then if the selected option is regular, get regular shipping cost for that item. And if the selected option is prime, get prime shipping cost for that item. So some people might argue why I have not written a method to calculate the cost of the item for regular shipping and prime shipping, and why have I written a separate class. So this is basically for two reasons. One is everything related to regular shipping will be in this class. That means if you have some constants that are used for calculating that price, that will go into this class like these constants. And I don't want to fill my shipping class with those constants. And they might have many more methods that require those constants. And you can see here, after I'm adding the price to the shipping cost, I'm assigning it to a new variable because this money class is immutable. And then after you have calculated the shipping cost, just return the shipping cost. And if you have already exceeded the threshold for free shipping, just return 0. Alright, so I think you get the idea how we can implement domain-driven code. And going into my next crash course, when I dive into live coding sessions, I'll try to use domain-driven code as much as possible. So that will be all in implementing DDD. Let's look at monoliths in our next lecture. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So goodbye until next time.